Would I be the a-hole for embarrassing the neighbors for trespassing in our backyard? Our family moved into our home about 2 years ago. We moved in, and our adjacent neighbor has been a nightmare. They are a 40-something couple who have a 5-year-old son with developmental disabilities. When we first moved in, we wanted a privacy fence for our dogs. Our realtor, our seller's realtor, and our seller said it wouldn't be an issue. The neighbor fought the HOA about it for 3 months, and due to the situation and needing a fence, we made huge concessions and installed a 4-foot fence. It started with them calling the cops one morning when my husband got home from work on a Sunday morning, sat on our backyard deck after a night shift, and drank a beer and hung out with our daughter. They said he was endangering our daughter. Thankfully, the cop understood wanting a beer after a night shift and just popped in and popped out. We had a little Fisher-Price playhouse last summer for her to play in, and they reported it to the HOA. We hung a baby swing off a tree branch. Same thing. Call from the HOA. The mom particularly will park her minivan in front of our driveway, so husband can't pull in or out of the garage, and wigs out when my husband comes and knocks on her door at 5:30 a.m. to move it. Suffice to say, we have learned our lesson, and when we decided to install a playset, we jumped through the hoops. Last month, we had a landscaper install it. It's essentially a playground in our backyard. We both work essential jobs, and no one is home during the day. My husband switched to nights and has watched the past 2 weeks. Her or her husband have been letting themselves into our backyard to let their son play for an hour or two, twice a day. First through the gate, which we then locked. Now they jump the fence and bring a stepladder to get back over. They always wait for me to leave for work. I'm not sure they see my husband pull in at 6-ish am. We bought a security camera that records. Am I the asshole if my plan is to record them playing in my backyard and putting it on the neighborhood next door and Facebook page? She's active in both and complains about us, including a post about our playground landscaping being insensitive. My other option is to call the cops, but I don't want to frighten their son. Verdict: not the asshole. Relevant comments: deleted. NTA, but keep it to proper channels. Call the cops for trespassing. Contact the HOA. Every time you notice them parked blocking your driveway, call and have it towed immediately. All your neighbors seem to know about them anyway. Word will get out. And how is calling the cops scary for the son? They already called the cops on you for legal activity on your own property. Also, are scrubs/trees legal in lieu of fences for privacy? Perhaps with thorns? Can you add a privacy screen or trellis to your porch/deck? Good luck. OOP. Their son is fairly developmentally disabled. Just from how his mom in particular behaves. Last time she called the cops on us for using our backyard to have a beer and mimosa on a Sunday. Honestly, she is that person that wigged out at us. Called the police on 911. The police came, saw we were sitting on our porch, apologized to us, and she went ballistic at the cop for not arresting us. And it started a chain event, and the little boy just lost his mind on the police officer. Thankfully, he is very visibly a disabled child. I think we will contact the police to ask them to witness it and quietly address it this time. And let the officer know if it happens again, we will press charges. If we want to plant anything, we have to have HOA approval, and the neighbor folks are just not amenable, and the HOA isn't going to open the can of worms where they don't follow their own laws. Trees, fence, and landscaping to keep views of the area is very important. It specifically calls out plants over 18 inches high. Honestly, had our neighbors not been giant turds about everything and pretty much treat us like we're single-handedly ruining their neighborhood, or even asked us while our daughter was away with her grandparents while my husband and I were working 75 to 80 hours a week to use it, I think I would have said, yeah, not a big deal. Now I'm mad this lady posts about our bad behavior every week on social media and talks shit about us, and now actually does something that's actually illegal, and I can't shout it from the rooftops that she's a hypocrite. Sasiza. NTA. But be the bigger person and go to your HOA first and let them know that the next step is to call the cops. You don't want them threatening to sue you if you put the video on social media. I understand they would probably lose if they did sue, but you lose too if you had to hire legal counsel. Good luck with these assholes. Edits. First of all, OP, please let us know what happens. I see in comments to my posts there are some stating you have every right to post the trespassing video on social media. Since none of us know where you are located, I don't think it is good advice. Know what your rights are as well as the trespasser's rights before you follow that type of advice. As one poster suggested, have their car towed next time it is blocking your driveway. CR 2810. I agree. Take this to the HOA and tell them they need to approve your 6-foot fence now. And I would also go to the cops. You need to have the neighbors given an official trespassing notice. OOP. How the HOA bylaws work, all adjacent properties have to agree with the fence. They were the only neighbors that refused to, and we had to compromise and install the only fence that is auto-approved. But I plan on parking my car a block away this afternoon and calling the police that we have trespassers. OOP responding to a downvoted commenter who thinks be the bigger person and a better neighbor. Honest to God, both of their sons are great. Before she started posting on the neighborhood Facebook, I've paid the teenage son to sit for our daughter before. And I honestly wouldn't care if they asked if they could use it. Our daughter is with grandparents until husband is no longer taking care of COV plus patients. So we don't use it. And I've literally watched them run cleaning supplies on the touch surfaces after use. Right now is a difficult time, and we can be good members of our community. And this can make his life better, and in turn their lives a little easier. But it takes a lot of cojones to bitch about us on the internet, almost weekly, and bitch about my backyard, and then feel free to use it. Update 1 same day / 5 hours later. Update 1. I spoke to 2 attorneys. Specifically, I used Google and searched for previous cases involving my HOA where the attorney represented the homeowner. Hey, this particular HOA is really not afraid to spend money on lawsuits. He thought if we wanted a higher fence and installed without permission or landscaped any further, we would be fined if someone complained. B. The HOA can't do anything about her behavior, and for a few $100s, she will draft a letter making it clear we find these ladies' posts on their FB to be harassing. C. To call the non-emergency police and leave a message. D. As far as she's concerned, we have the appropriate insurance for our attractive nuisance. E. Because they are using a ladder to use our attractive nuisance to get over the fence. And an adult always accompanying him. That the particular laws in our state make it very clear if it's not easily accessible, it's not an attractive nuisance, and it only covers children. F. There's nothing illegal about posting it on Facebook / Nextdoor. Update 2 same day 13 hours later. Update 2. I spoke with the non-emergency police line, and the community assigned police officer called me about 10 minutes later. The community police officer, he was very nice, looks like he's been winding down his career as a school police coup and a community cop, agreed if I called him today, he would come and help me have the conversation and issue them a warning about trespassing. I don't want them to be in charge. I want to be the bigger person. Even if I want nothing more than to be extra petty and put her on blast with the neighbors. They showed up for the afternoon play around 2:30. The dogs and cameras let me know. I called the officer and he parked down the block and we both walked around the house. He verified my gate is locked, to my very surprised neighbors. I said, "Hey Rachel, we need to talk. We can sit down and do it. I'm pissed you all are in my backyard without my permission, but I feel like I can control my emotions." I told her we had noticed that they were at first letting themselves into my backyard, but now they were breaking into it. I said coming into my yard without my permission needed to end today. The officer point blank said he works 8 to 5 Monday to Friday and will respond immediately to any trespassing incidents after today. She got a little snippy and started talking back to the officer, but the officer escorted her and her son and her ladder off the property and said he didn't want to hear it and that she's an adult and she can't go into a fenced property even when it's unlocked. Rachel posted not even 15 minutes after this happened on the neighborhood Facebook with a picture of my backyard about how ridiculous it is that you can get a playground approved in a backyard, and how ugly it is, and how it's devaluing everyone's property, and how it's dangerous and if anyone thinks it's impeding her view. Some agreement from her friends, and a few people reminding her we live in a very kid-friendly neighborhood, and it looked nice and natural. I also posted in the neighborhood Facebook with a picture from my office of my backyard with her and her son using a ladder to get over the fence into my backyard. Really good ISO landscaping suggestions on my fence line to keep neighbors out. I may be using our stimulus check on getting some supplies and making portable privacy screen /fence /trellis garden boxes. Suffice to say her FB post is deleted and her husband's Facebook messaged me asking me to delete mine. Final comments. General_Moy. Thank you for keeping us informed. Please continue to do so. OOP. Fuck. If I thought I wouldn't get identified by posting the video here, I would. They literally have an above-ground swimming pool ladder they move and climb into my yard with. 10:55. Are you going to remove your post? What did her husband say about her using your backyard? OOP. I took my post down. That guy has also been climbing our fence and using our backyard, so it's not just her problem. It's their bad behavior, not just hers.